welcome everybody. It's me again, Chawe
and Nero, and we welcome you back in the V4 Fortnite tournament.
Exactly, in Bucharest.
Yeah, Budapest.
Yes, it's Budapest. I do apologize. I don't know why I say Bucharest.
Because someone else said it, like during the break, someone came and said Bucharest.
Probably, yeah. All right.
I remember that.
Exactly.
I remember that clearly. I don't know why he said that, but you
never
now
mind.
said that.
Never mind.
Whatever.
No, yeah,
just a chain reaction. Right
exactly.
here. But we know it's in Budapest, and well, we'll be going into our remaining half of the games probably shortly. For now, after 4 games. Well, most importantly, after the 4th game, we had the biggest shake-up. We don't know what the standings exactly look like right now, but probably there is quite a big movement going on, like a little bit of a flow from the second page of these
I'll be shocked if the top 10 stays the same. If there should be some major changes, because there was a lot of team which performed very well, which wasn't in the top 10 before. So as I said, Mostas and Richard, they got 9 elims last game. I believe they're gonna be in top 10 right now, and I don't believe as well that the Dex will keep the first place. So I think the top of the scoreboard will be changed. Yeah, definitely, and some of these teams might even fall out of the top 10 as well. So we might see some fresh and new faces, and well. The tournament is well on the way, definitely. All of the players have an idea of what they want to do further on into these games. So 4 games left. Exactly, and everything's open.
Yeah.
Everything's open. Anything can happen right now. I think after those 2 next games, we will more clearly see who's gonna be in those top 10.
Yeah, the final games are gonna be like.
I mean, I think before the final game, we'll most likely know the top 5 already.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, I would love to have like open cards till the last game. Like, I would hope that we will not know who's gonna win.
I mean, this far, the differences in points are very little. Yeah. So there is a chance for someone to still turn it all over and just find their way onto the first place, and stuff like that can definitely happen. And there is still a chance that after 2 more games it might stay the same. I mean, this far it's already 4 games, so it's not so little, it's not so few. Some of the tournaments in the past have had 5 games or 6 games, so at this point we would be pretty much at the very last game of the tournament, while we still have half of it left, and we are pretty close in the standings, so a lot can change.
Yeah, we just wait.
Valakinek esetleg bármilyen hátrányos helyzetben kellene részesülnie, és ezek a srácok be fogják mutatni egy tánc keretén belül a roll dance-esek, hogyha jól tudom, ugye Rocky Monday tánciskola felkérésében, hogy miről is van szó, úgyhogy srácok, büszkén tiétek a színpad, úgyhogy hadd szóljon!
Semmi fut a bancsira, velem jön egy lány, egy laza pancsira, vele meg egy lezser, nyári ruha. A szőke tisztán dorongol a fülembe, 2 kezünkre zongizik az ölembe, 5 kezük a vigyázz, nem oda oda. Szőke visz a kék tudat, hol hát ma éjszaka, nem lesz itt ma nagy szunya. Ha közbe szól a szív szava, szőke visz a kék tudat, hol hátba éjszaka.
Nyugodtan lehet őket tapsal bíztatni, gyerünk!
Szőke visz a nemletelte magányos, 2 tudatot rádában az hatásos. Felpöröd a szívem nap, kilóra. Még majd telemegyünk a lidóra, összegond a locsi-pocsi zsúróba. Nyugi baby adunk a hívóra. Szőke visz a kék tudat, hol hát ma éjszaka. Nem lesz itt ma nagy szunya, ha közbe szól a szívszava. Szőke visz a kék mert a jó bevállott népszokás. Szőke bizak indulat, ó, hát ma éjszaka, nem lesz itt ma a nagy szúnya, ha közbe szól a szívszava. Szőke bizak indulat, ó, hát ma éjszaka, szőke bizak indulat, ó, hát ma éjszaka, szőke bizak indulat, ó, hát ma éjszaka. Ó, hát ma éjszaka, nem lesz itt ma a szúnya, ha közbe szól a szívszava.
Még egyszer nagy tapsot a srácoknak, és elnézést a vezetőtökkel pár szót én beszélni.
Lucky, that was different. That was
Azért
entertaining, to be honest. I
Néhány
mean, I'm
kérdésünk
surprised
lenne,
how
mert nekem
people are
egyébként személy
comfortable,
szerint
like,
tetszett. Hogy jött
being
ez a
able to do
koreográfia
such a things.
egyébként?
Like I can
Mennyi idő
do
volt
that,
betanulni?
like that.
Mi alapján
I wish I
sikerült
could.
Well, anyway, we're here for Fortnite though, and we're just waiting a little bit for the players to set themselves up. Hopefully everybody's got some good dinner, got some good little rest right there. As far as I know,
Igen, nagyon érdekes volt. Egyébként
some
a
of the players that are on
videójátékos
the venue
vonal
right
az a
there, there
csapatban
is a little bit
mennyire
of noise
jön
going
elő,
on,
vagy
and there might be
kiről
a little
lehet
bit
tudni
of
esetleg, hogy aki szeret is
some
játszani
sound issues within
mellette.
the game itself, so it is important right now to rest, to not let the headache
És
get
esetleg
to
azt is
you,
tudni, hogy
and
mivel.
just recover before this game starts.
So shall we touch about the new patch? Shall we mention that we've got a new patch?
Well, more like a content update, I think it
yeah,
was.
we've got two items which are new right now. So it's a grapple with
With the
partial-
redeploy.
with the redeploy, and the Batarang, which is like a
Oh yeah, we found out what it does.
exactly, we know what right now, so be prepared for that. So it works like a sticky grenade, but with the proximity. So you can throw it on the ground, and then if somebody walks to it, next to it, it will explode and deal 50 damage, and then 200 damage to the structure.
Yep, to all the structures
Yeah.
around, and
Oh, I think there's a new next performance.
players are at their pieces, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes,
So
they are. They are.
we are pretty much ready to get on the way with the 5th game right here of the V4
Exactly.
Royale.
And I wonder how the teams are gonna perform in this first game, because you had a break. You had a 1 hour break. You could reset your mindset.
I think it will be a little bit different. Like overall, it is a big object, right? We can see that it's some kind of a stadium hall.
Yeah,
or
it's for
whatever.
sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is big. In places like these, most of the time it's going to be cold.
True.
And
Yeah.
since you've not played for an hour or something,
Yeah.
probably they've been around the PCs for like 10-15 minutes right now. Most likely for some of the players, their hands are getting cold.
Of
if they
course,
don't
yeah,
have,
of
like,
course, yeah.
the hand warmers or whatever that they might have right there, if they don't like do any activities or something to keep themselves warm, and that's most likely going to be an influence on some of these players. Like this is the most common problem on LAN for a lot of pro players.
Yeah,
like cold hands.
Yeah, even in on the IM Katowice, I remember that we had a break as well for a dinner or something like that. And when you're coming back to the PC, you feel like you started playing again from the beginning. Like it's like a game one for you, because even though you warmed up for the 4 games before, you feel like you just like literally haven't played for an hours. Not it wasn't like half an hour, just hours. So I wonder if, for example, guys from Slavjans, they're gonna still feel so comfortable with being aggressive, or they're just gonna try to make it slower just to get to warm up and then hit on the end, or they just gonna try to use this as an advantage and think, okay, we have a cold hands, other people have a cold hands. We will just pressure them, so they're gonna make more mistakes. But well, we'll just find out when the game starts.
Yeah, that's true. So a little bit more new stuff is going to get into the game right here, and it might reset a couple of the teams right there, might help the others quite a little bit. But another thing that I want to bring up right here is we started at like, what, 11?
Yes.
Most likely the players had to come a little bit earlier right here, and let's say they've been at the venue since 10 a.m. Right now it is like 4:30 most likely,
Yes.
something along these lines, and they're going to be finishing up around like 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m.
Yes. That's a long time.
That's a long time, and how are these players going to deal with this? This is 10 hours in front of all the lights, the cameras, the entire noise that's around on events like that. Some of these players, as I said, might be dealing with some headaches.
And I will stop you right there, because we've got a finally we've got a standing. So, as I said, Mominjo and Kevin
On the,
second
actually
place.
tied for the first place.
Oh, they are tied, exactly. And just 1 elimination difference. That's a very small. And what? There's 19 points between the first team and the 10th team.
10th team, yeah.
And as we said, Mozart and Richard.
Oh, they are here.
7th place. So those 9 eliminations and displacement on the last game just made them just jump straight to the top 10.
Okay, so 13 points away from first place right now, and we are assuming that all these teams at the top are also going to be getting points for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So catching up will not be too easy, but another game like that with 9 eliminations and some placement points would definitely be huge.
So I think the next 2 games will be huge for Mozart and Richard. If they feel in that they already caught up with the top of the leaderboard, I think right now they only just can improve. I think that in their heads they know that they're going for the win right now.
And for Nova and Pico, some people caught up to them right now. They have to keep it going if they really want to stick to this first place. This is going to be a huge battle between Nova, Pico, and Kevin and Momindu.
Yeah.
And also a lot of other teams are going to be really trying hard to catch up to them. So, well, the competition is still on, that for sure.
I mean,
everybody in this top 10 can still get up there.
Yeah, of course. And to be honest, they have a home ground. These are real Hungarians. So they are top 1. They are Hungarians. They play on the home turf. And they just, to be honest, they were not even on top 10, to be honest. Like, they were not in top 10.
At the start, yeah.
Before the 4th game. So they got from, like, I don't know, top 15 to the top 1 in just 1 game. That's amazing.
That is indeed amazing, and
So,
hopefully they can keep it up. I mean, because normally If something like that happens, then maybe it means that they're not consistent at all.
Yeah.
So maybe they won't be able to
Perform
again,
like
get a good game anymore. So hopefully this time they will just kind of settle down a little bit and just play consistently, just get 5 points here, 5 points there, and maybe that way lead themselves to a top 3 finish or something.
Yeah, and I love how close it is. Like you mentioned, they are tied for the first place, so it's so close. Like nobody can make so much advantage than the other team that they have to just go head to head, and I love it because it keeps us in suspense. It keeps you in excitement. What will happen next to those 2 games? If somebody will fall off, like if somebody will just try to risk it and go for the high reward, or everybody will just play slowly and just wait how it turns up.
Yeah, it just goes down to the playstyle. If they want to go risky, then it might indeed pay off. I mean, after all, if we're looking at the top teams in the world right now that are out there, they're most likely playing very aggressively, but they are just very smart at executing these plays. They're so mechanically skilled that they can close out the fights as soon as they start them, so they don't linger around for too long, so they don't allow the third parties to happen, for other people, other teams to close in the distance on them. So I don't think we've seen a team like that just yet here in the tournament. Like, we didn't have their POV on our screens, but that's how the best teams
I mean,
play.
there was a moment from the Mumindu when in the first game when we could see that they were just trying to engage. But the more games they will play in, the safer they start being. And I think we are starting the game number 5. Yeah, and we've got their leaders on our screens.
That's good.
So we've got Pyko and Nova.
And it was lucky landing. I have to say I pretty much like this spot.
It is a good spot.
one.
But as well, it's... Oh, and they're being contested straight away. So I wonder if they're being contested every single game, or is it just this game?
As I said, maybe after the break, somebody's going to find out where the best ones are landing and just try to eliminate them out of the game right off the bat. Well, we don't know how it was anyway.
Yeah,
from the start.
We know who's landing on retail.
Asked for retail row, and it is Energonist, and they were in top 10.
Yeah, they're top 10.
After the third game, they're not in right now.
Oh, they're not. They dropped out. Yeah, it is indeed. You are right. So Sweet and Ergonist. So they've got a pretty nice spot. Retail row, I think, is the most overpowered spot right now in the whole map. Like, you've got infinite amount of loot here, and let's face it, the materials as well. You can at least you can spare 500 each, so that's huge.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, a jump pad right away.
And we've got more players as well, which is weird.
Well, I don't think that is weird actually, because there is a possibility that some of them didn't connect to the first game
true,
or something
true.
like that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're
game crashed, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, and Demogorgon skin. That's a nice, fresh skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I've not seen people use it at all.
No.
Like I've seen it once in the game, and I got like completely scared because I didn't know what it was, and I forgot that the skin like that even existed in the game. Well, there we go.
exactly.
These guys are supporting it right now.
And Sunny Steps, that's a good spot as well to land. I mean, all those spots like Black Landing and Sunny Steps are nice, but at some point, if your zone is out of the way, like it's far away.
Yeah, but if you're Sunny Steps, you don't really have to worry about that because you have the rotation.
Oh yeah,
from
you've got
pressure
the
play.
true.
If you're going something like Greasy or Viking or Polar Peak, then you don't have to worry because you've got the rifts on the stone heads. And
But on the
like
Lucky
that.
Landing,
So,
you don't have any moves.
Yeah, that's true. So for some spots like these, you do have some rotation, but there really is not much of that rotation left on the map anymore. Like they've been reducing the ways, the means of transport that you have. The quads being erased from the game. The bowlers now obviously not in the game. After the planes were in, so you had two big vehicles that you could move around very easily. Now they're completely gone. Well, you could say that you have brutes, but brutes aren't so quick and technically are something completely different.
And they're not lasting till the end of the game as well.
They're
so.
more like an offensive vehicle rather than just a movement one. So all you have is there's no rift to goes, obviously. The amount of rifts from like Season 7 is completely decreased because you only have them on the burger next to Pleasant Park and on the Stonehead next to Greasy, and I believe that's it.
And just to stop you.
Balls. Yeah.
Yes, and Moisty Bomb. And to stop you that Jacob and Bezikos just got eliminated.
Oh.
So that's very early.
So finally someone contested them well on that Pleasant Park.
Yeah, and now they have an issue because they know that they've been contested right now and they lost.
And they've been falling. I mean, they've been on 6th place after game 2. After game 3, they were 7th. Now they're 9th, and they're not going to get any points. They're falling out of top 10 for sure. And the question is, will they be able to bring themselves back?
Exactly. And we can see, like, the loot which Aragonis got. Golden Heavy Sniper, Golden Infantry, Blue Palm, Chagrak. He's got everything that he needs. Yeah,
just beautiful.
Exactly.
Yep, and they will still probably get more. He got a launch pad from a vendor machine, and they're probably gonna get some more from these obelisks, and this is starting pretty fine for them.
Yeah.
But another problem is, yeah, they are landing retailer, and actually with no contests too. Actually, I believe we saw Aragonis landing some beautiful shots with this infantry rifle.
I'm surprised that he swapped it.
So yeah, I'm also surprised that he swapped it right here. But yeah, anyway, no contest on Retail Row. Maybe it's just this game, but overall, they got amazing loot, no contest on Retail, and they aren't even top 10. They only just glimpsed into the top 10 for a single game. So this is not looking so good for them. Dexter, though, with Phoenix, they are playing with a brute.
Yeah,
they are getting some eliminations.
So they're trying to go back. They're 3rd place, so it's not that bad. I mean, they only dropped down two positions, but still 6 points. But well, if they keep eliminating people, they will come back to the top 1 in no time.
Yep.
In the meantime, Cookie and Sagan, they just got eliminated by Vorteg. So it's another Polish team out of the match today.
Yeah, Vorteg actually played pretty well in that last game, unfortunately eliminated because he was getting pressured from way too many sides, just trying to extend that turtle of his. But that didn't work out. Maybe this time he will reach a little bit further. Finally getting out of the sunny steps. Yeah, you can just wait until the zone is pretty much on your face. Then finally, as he said a little bit earlier, the zip lines are back, so zip line straight into pressure plate. Pretty good. Junkers destroy the obelisks. That's also something that I didn't know, obviously, because well, Junkers were not really available in Arena for a long time.
But is it worth it though? I mean,
depends. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a good thing to wonder about. Is it worth it? Like, do you save up the junk rifts for late game and try to get the eliminations with that, or do you farm up some shields, heals, and obviously traps?
Yeah, I mean, because the biggest point is, like, I've seen Richard send a photo of him knocking out 4 people with the junk rift on the last game.
Yeah.
I would trade that. Like, I wouldn't use the junk rift right now. I would just use it till the end of the game, as we mentioned. It's easier to just get elimination from it at the end of the game rather than using it so early. So, well, we'll see that later on if it was worth it or not, if they had an occasion to use it or not. But, well, Mr. Jackson, his teammate doesn't waste any time. They're just getting into the zone.
But look at the amount of mats that they have. They go out as sunny steps. There's not much to farm there in the first place, and they just both have 300 stone. And that's a problem, because Marcelo is actually going to get knocked down to 50 HP, has to heal up really quickly, and that's going to use up all his heals right off the bat, and that's it. And he's going to probably have to go into that Loot Lake Rift if they want to rotate to the zone.
But I wonder where the shots came from.
From behind.
From behind?
From somewhere like southeast, yeah, something like that.
Ah, down there, alright. In the meantime, Z's again knocking out Matthews.
So they're meeting each other pretty frequently
on the battlefield. So I bet they're rotating from. Where they could rotate from?
Oh, sometimes they were landing there, right?
Yeah.
But could they rotate so quickly towards Fatal Fields?
I mean, I bet they know that they are there. Like, they already been fighting for a couple of times. So Zit knows that Gio and Matthews are on the battlefields and they're not performing great. So maybe they just feel like, okay, just let's go there, like free elimination for us.
Yeah.
And it's working for them for now, so...
Interestingly enough, there is no contest onto that Loot Lake Rift. That's pretty surprising to me that nobody is really trying to fight for that. Nobody is really tagging them down. Like, I mean, they got tagged down next to Loot Lake and not into Loot Lake itself, which is so weird because for me, when I get into Loot Lake area, I instantly die, like 180 damage out of nowhere.
But they got that pretty easy. I mean, they were getting shot from around, but nobody connected. So, well, they got
a pretty safe. They got a pretty good house, yeah.
And now they just have to hope for the zone to finish. I think the Nova and the Pyro will be using a jump pad, which is very risky.
They're pretty far away from the zone, so that's their best bet right here. And now manages to jump off of it without getting knocked down. Yeah, shouldn't expect anyone to really be here anymore. But where did they come from? I don't believe that they landed Svena's factories and waited there. No, they landed Lucky Landing.
Yeah, they did Lucky Landing. Oh, but still they got shot. He got pretty...
most importantly, they didn't get collapsed, right?
Yeah, well, I was surprised that he risked doing a single ramp. So, well, lucky for him. In the meantime, Aragon is from retail row, putting some pressure. And the zone is coming.
He's mid-fight, but he cannot actually break through to that. And he's now going to be the one on the defense. And the zone is coming, as you said. So that's going to turn a little bit problematic. Swedes lost a lot of health. And there's a junk rift too on them, but they managed to survive. Or was it theirs, actually? Now they try to retake the high ground, but there's still one more guy on top.
Ooh, there was a hot
damage. That's pretty good. Aragonist needs to really take control of this fight. Unless he just wants to run away. But the zone is still going, and it's further and further. So no, he should just take control of this fight and probably try and finish it off as quickly as possible. But then still, it's just a normal game mode, not arena. So they wouldn't get the heals for the kills. So
exactly. So it's not worth it. And I think it's a good choice.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good choice to just. And now we can have a view of a new PoE in a map, Gotham City.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna avoid it. I don't know if anybody feel Momindo in the meantime. Mozart's knocking down Momindo.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good. And getting sniped as well. So it's a bad news for the Momindo, but well, good news for the Mozart
players, right? But he got finished, so Kevin is still alive to try and fight for these points. But yeah, as we've seen, actually, Monster and Recharged in one of the late games with that Brute playing extremely aggressively. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they just chase down Kevin.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised
for the entire map just to finish him off.
Yeah. And as I was trying to say before that, I wonder if there's any team who feels so safe and confident to go to Gotham City right now.
No idea, really no idea how that works. And if we don't know if we had a team playing in Tilted Town before this
we don't know, yeah.
We don't know, but what happened then when Gotham City came out? Did they really know when they were dropping there what was happening? Or if they didn't, how did they adapt? Was it
I wonder if somebody so because you don't really pay attention without knowing that. So if I would turn on map, I would not even pay attention that there's Gotham City instead of Tilted Town.
Yeah.
Like I would just the bus is going this way, so that's alright. And the Kevin just got eliminated as well. So unfortunately for him, I think they're not gonna be top 2 anymore. But
yeah, for sure. But they might stick.
Yeah,
to
it's
the
still
5.
3 games,
Who
so.
knows? I mean, yeah. After all, in 8 games, you can take 1 game with no points.
Especially they were performing in every single game very well, so they don't have to be like they can just say to each other, "All right, happened, mistakes, life." So I think if they didn't perform the next game, that's gonna be a problem. But right now they should be fine. In the meantime, sweet, building up. I think there's some contest going on.
Mr. Jackson and Marcelo pretty far away from the zone once again, and they're getting stinged, and they're getting spammed by something, if I'm not mistaken. I think. We got some more eliminations actually out there for Martin, who was also doing pretty well before, but I think they dropped out of the top 10, but now they're trying to fight their way back in.
there might run open problems because there's like the
the
shot from
brute.
the brute on a hill, and there's like 2 other people trying to get the.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have 2 brutes on the hill, actually.
Oh my god! Yeah,
so there's 2 people and 2 brutes, and they're just spamming rockets at everybody around.
And I
so
think
good luck.
This is the same situation which was before in game number 3, when Mossage and Richard were on the same hill with the brute, but instead of staying there, they just started rushing.
Pushed, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, from what it looked like, it was 2 brutes for the same team, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very lucky for them that they managed to get 2 brutes in a. And then in the meantime, Zed, which was performing pretty nicely for the past couple of games, gets eliminated right now. I think Alpha is still alive. There's Ergonist getting some shots from far away. Ooh, and Landy just finishing Alda off. But it wasn't his knock, so he just helped somebody else.
I think it was his teammates. Yeah, it was his teammates.
Was his? All right.
So it's fine, perfectly fine. They get another point for themselves right here. And
in the meantime, Motash got exploded by Phoenix. That must have hurt.
And we've not really seen a lot of explodes this far into the tournament, so I'm really curious as to how it's gone. I think we'd seen Besniko's getting knocked by some grenades.
Yes, yes. Oh yeah, in
I
the
don't
game.
exactly remember which team was throwing grenades at them.
Wasn't it Zed and Alpha? Was it when they didn't like? I think they were like, because I remember just not throwing it constantly, like they just messed up the timing for the nades, but it still managed to get the kill.
Yeah,
So
that might have been them for sure. Now we're getting into the later stages of the game, and without Monster, as we said, but still quite a bit of mechs around here, and let's see how people just decide to stack up in these zones.
And Sky having 10 Batarang, that's gonna be interesting if he's gonna use them.
He's gonna use them, yeah, but he's still holding on to them actually. He's not exchanging them for a different item, so possibly, probably. Oh, Sweet got knocked out, and Aragonist and Sweet. We were talking about how with that equipment from Retail Road, they should be doing great in these games, but in terms of the points, they're not where they want to be. And once again, another game, another mistake. Sweet just goes down, and I don't think that Aragonist will be able to pick him up.
No, the zone is coming.
The zone is coming.
I mean,
there's some people right next to him, and he's on 7 white HP too.
Yeah, and we've got a Storm Surge as well going on, so that's gonna be, I don't know how many, if he's above or not, but if he's below...
I think he's above, but we don't know how much.
And now he's getting shots. As we said, it just takes one person to start shooting at somebody, and then you are just in big trouble because everybody else will try to knock you down.
Oh my god, just look at the mats, and he's getting spammed, 70 mats. This is insanely bad for him, but he actually takes the wall over with a heavy sniper rifle. That's pretty good, being able to take it over so quickly so that nobody can actually edit down on you.
And you see, he's just trying to sneak. He doesn't know
it. He has one wall, so he's completely
he doesn't have a choice.
screwed.
Yeah. He has to just hope that somebody will get knocked next to him, or in the meantime, Nova getting some elimination. So they getting those points makes them a solo leader for right now, because Mumindu and
they didn't manage to do anything this game. So that's true, they will be building up that lead, and for now, before this game, we thought that it's going to be Nova and Pico versus Kevin and Mumindu, but right now it's pretty much Nova and Pico getting the advantage going for themselves, and then the rest of the competition will have to build it back up. But Aragonist actually killed Nova.
Exactly,
which is surprising. He had 10 mats, he had 50 HP, he manages to get a kill on the top 1 player right here.
Exactly, and in the meantime, Phoenix and Dex as well, getting those eliminations, getting those knocks, they going with the points as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's, in the next game, there's gonna be a match between Nova and Pyko versus Phoenix and Chirac and Dex instead of the Mumindu.
Actually, did Aragonist get the finish on that kill, or did he just get a knock? Because he doesn't have any additional loot, still no mats.
I think it might have been just a knock.
It might have been just a knock.
I mean, maybe he just knocked him, but maybe he's somewhere far away that he's not being able to be helped. So maybe he's just waiting for him to bleed out. But we'll find out in a second.
Even if he bleeds out, it doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, but I still get a point for him.
Yeah, obviously that point would definitely be nice.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough spot now because the zone is coming and he has to just... He cannot stop right
he
now.
will push through, actually. The zone is going very slowly, but if he has to go up, and the zone is dangerously close to the Viking kill, then he won't really be able to do much. Nova now gets knocked out.
Again.
So Aragonis was not gonna get that kill. He got picked up.
And
now
he
he's
just
gonna get
died
picked
as
up
well.
again.
So he just got eliminated by Alcon. So, well, that was the story of Aragonist this time. In the meantime, Impale still on 3 eliminations, so they're doing just fine.
Yeah, so back to the topic of Aragonis just for a moment longer. That isn't enough to actually build themselves back up into the top 10 and solidify their position in this in the standings. So if they actually want to earn a little bit of money out of this tournament, they will have to do much better than just that.
Yeah, I think it was a good try. I mean, he was on his own, so he didn't have much to do. Like, he didn't have materials. He had 7 HP. So I think they need to go for more aggressive play at the beginning.
Some nades being stacked right here towards Gabe, but he's fine.
Yeah, and
actually
maybe
just
we'll see,
stops randomly.
Maybe we'll see the battle ranks finally in use. Sky was thinking about it for a second. Stroke getting knocked down right now by Adamovic. And Alcon just chilling.
Just chilling, actually. Not having his teammate up is definitely not a good thing. But he's still got 800 mats. It's so much better than Aragonis just a while ago. It's probably so much better than some of the other players. Rafa actually goes down. He was the guy that won
the previous game.
The game where a lot of stuff happened. A lot of good stuff happened for the teams in the top 10 standings right here. But he was the one to win. He didn't show up in the top 10, and he's not going to get a lot done in this match number 5 either.
Everybody's just playing slowly. I mean, we've got still 30 people in this zone. That's a huge amount of people. Nova's still alive, so Nova managed to stay alive with Pico. So they are doing great this game. They've got 3 LMs. I don't know how many Pico got, but still, it's 3 points extra plus placement. They gonna be... I bet they're gonna be top 1 now, right now.
Yeah, doing definitely good, and now they're trying to run out into the zone. The zone is extremely close, so they'll be once again okay with this. Oh, actually, some spam coming out from the top. Nova is just gonna abandon his teammate and try and stay alive. But the bandages, like, for him, these bandages are really good. The zone is going so slowly.
Oh, that's small
okay, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
He'll be fine.
That was a small mistake.
If he can just stay hidden for a little bit longer. There's 26 people left. Soon enough, these additional points for placement will start flowing in. Then he'll be fine. And also in the chaos, if he's hidden, he can just open up and edit and get another elimination for himself. So these points are looking pretty good for Nova and Pico. Even though they lost Pico already, even though Nova probably won't be able to win the game, I think he's pretty okay.
Yeah, he's still getting shot from the same people who just eliminated Pico, and Nova...
he will get shotgunned by Dex.
Yeah, and then Richard just got eliminated as well. But he eliminated as well somebody, so it was a 1-for-1.
Which is good enough,
yeah,
if he managed to get the finish. I'm not sure if it was an Elim or not.
It was in Elim.
Okay, so great for them, definitely, especially since Motus just dropped very early into the game.
In the meantime, as well, the Phoenix is still going strong. They keep eliminating people all the time.
Yeah, Phoenix and Dex. So I'm assuming they're somewhere on the low ground, because that's where Nova was when he was running away. So that's some low ground situation going on. And there we go. We are on low ground right now, and there's a lot of teams actually down there. A lot of chaos going down.
And what will they do? 2 enemies on Dex. I don't know how many Phoenix got, but there's got probably a few.
They have no HP heals, actually.
There
comes the Junkgrave, but his teammate stays alive. And Phoenix is just going to try to defend himself from the attack of another player right next to him. He throws in some more Junkgraves, gets killed by an RPG.
I just don't...
the amount of chaos right here.
Oh, and it was Artix who's just dropping the bombs all the time.
But doesn't manage to get... actually knocked out someone with the fall, so from the high ground... I think that he knocked out his teammate.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh
that was his teammate for sure.
Wait, no, he did.
Maybe an Arctix. Yeah, maybe tried to stay up on the high ground and Arctix task was to just throw down the Junkers, but he instead killed his teammate with that.
Oh, and now he's a hero.
Oh, well.
What's
Oh,
the-
actually
Oh.
gets a great shotgun kill
good
right
shot,
there,
yeah.
but it is not going to be finished off.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close. The opponent had what, 30 HP
But
left?
yeah, he placed down 2 campfires, and he had still like 800 wood and 700 brick, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So he could have just built around. He should have most likely just defended himself from the enemies and let them bleed out in the storm. But instead, he decided to go for the fight with a shotgun. It was not a bad idea either, because he did manage to land a good shot, knock the guy. But it didn't allow him to survive and win the game, though that's just 2 points difference. Obviously, if he got the kills, then it would have been 4 points total. But just for the placement, it's 2 points difference. It's not too much.
Yeah, exactly.
He shouldn't like be crying that, oh man, we didn't manage to win this game. He should really be happy with what they accomplished, because that's a lot of points.
Yeah, exactly. And what I would love to see right now is there's a moment 2 minutes ago in the game when the Junkers was just falling down and there was loads of people knocked down. I would love to see who got so many eliminations, because there was a point when I just see one nickname with like 6 LMs.
Really?
Yes, and I would love to see the replay of that.
Oh my god, I didn't see that, but like the situation, the entire situation was so hilarious. Like there was 2 tiles, or like 4 tiles quadrant, and there was just a junk rift, an RPG, a junk rift, RPG junk rift, RPG junk rift, RPG, and everybody was just like
and
millions
that's
of
what we're
items
talking
on the
about.
ground.
Like, we haven't seen that in the past 4 games. Nobody used Junkers in their last zone, or like not the last one, but one before that. How strong they are. You could see right now how strong the Junkers are in situation like that.
And once again, we should come back to the situation from the very beginning of this game on Retail Row. Should you use the junk rifts on the obelisks to farm some more items? Nobody knows, because they didn't even survive the late game to try
They did. I mean, Aragonis was, if he had a junk rift and no mats, he could easily get some extra eliminations.
That's true. Maybe you could have gotten some eliminations, and just as well, he could have farmed just a tiny bit of mats, because may I remind you, the junk rifts also drop some mats and some ammunition.
We'll see. I think we're gonna see the replay from the situation with the junk rifts in the second. I think that's gonna be the. Oh, it was the situation when Nova got knocked by Aragonist. Oh, he just got.
Oh wow, that was so random from behind.
Ooh, that was so unlucky on Aragonist as well.
Oh, but he was 1v2.
Yeah.
So that wasn't too easy of a situation. Now they thought they were getting up into safety, but instead from above, just the floor gets opened, and yeah, Arctic's right here. I think he should have just built, so 800 wood, 400 brick. He should have just built some brick, and he would have been okay. Oh, that's the enemy's POV.
And he had 6 HP.
But Reno didn't even know about the guy. He just landed there and just started reloading and was looking around, and it turned out that there's a guy like a single floor below him. But yeah, still Arctic's he should have built. I think that would have worked out so much better.
I think because especially he had 2 campfires, so he knew if he was. I mean, he knew he didn't apparently, but if he would just turret him himself, he could out-heal them. And I don't know if he was thinking maybe that the other team has got more campfires, or they're more prepared.
Maybe he thought that they have more heals, and maybe the other guy had more heals. That we also don't know. But in this situation, if you are in a completely open angle in a 1v2, there is no chance you're gonna win. Like obviously, especially since he had a shotgun in his hands, and the other guy was like 8 stories up, so it was just obviously an AR situation, not a shotgun situation.
But still, top 2, pretty good place.
Yeah.
As I said, only 2 points different. I shouldn't be worried about it. Especially,
definitely not.
He wasn't in top 10 before that, so that might be making him closer to the top 10 as well. But we'll just find out when the leaderboards drop in. And we're gonna get ready for the match number 6 before the break. I mean, after the break, because we're gonna just talk about the game. So, how was it? I mean, it was a good game.
It was definitely a good one. And as we said, like, the tempo is just rolling in. It's just being picked up with every single game passing right here. And after the break, we didn't see it dropping down at all. Yeah. This game was pretty good from what we've seen.
Yes, but it was a bit... felt like the end of the game. Like, especially, like, I think the 4th zone got a bit slower because there was, like, 50 people with the storm surge leaving, and then it was like 25, something like that. When usually before the games, like from 1 to 4th game, there was usually around 20 people just like in the 4th or 5th zone. So I believe this break make people play a bit safer. I feel like it. It's just
Might be.
Well, we'll see later on.
Yeah, we'll definitely see in the following games what happens, and I definitely want to see what happens with Aragonist and Sunny. Like, they should definitely get something more done with the amount of loot that they have out of Retail Row, especially like we even saw them stay in the storm in the first zone to try and farm up even more of that stuff. And they didn't even use it at all. They got like 1 elim or something like that, and they went out pretty early. That's not the way that you want to play if you want to find yourself in the top 5, I would even say.
Yeah.
Because top 10 already grants you money, but starting from top 5 is going to be like the bigger amounts, obviously.
I mean, they tried to force the fight around the Dusty Depot before, but the other team didn't really want to fight, so they were just like shots between each other, and then they just run out to the like around the Gotham City, the new PoE. So I think that might have just set them off track a bit, because I think they tried to be aggressive after the retail, but it didn't work out.